It's the Sports Talk Now podcast. Welcome to Sports Talk Now, the go-to pod for everything sports. This is the Pundit, back in his seat, the host seat. Technically a different one, but we'll get to that. Episode 9. We have made it. It has been quite the season. Feedback has been extraordinary, phenomenal, and we've had a lot of fun here. I hope you have, and I'm just excited to get going. This is the penultimate episode of Season 1, and there's a lot to get to, but I just want to go ahead and thank Spotify and Apple Music Podcasts for having us on their platform. They got a lot of great podcasts and music on their platforms, but we were lucky enough for them to have us on there, and they are lucky enough to have us. So go ahead and thank Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, by sending them a letter.
Stitcher.
Wait. You could send them a letter, or honestly, just go into an Apple store, or I don't know if Spotify has stores, but go in there and just thank an employee, because those are the guys who do the real heavy lifting. So yeah, thank you, Spotify and Apple. Hopefully we can continue to do this podcast for seasons and more seasons. I do want to get to today's episode, because there is a lot to talk about. Penultimate episodes are usually chock full of a lot of exciting stuff, so we have a lot of really fun stuff planned. But a little behind-the-scenes stuff before we get into that. I am recording from a different location today. I did have a little bit of a tizzle with my roof. You can't trust contractors is the moral of the story. Trust the big companies, because there are real contracts involved in big companies. These individual contractors, you don't really know what you're getting into, and they can just, take apart your roof. It seems to be an epidemic. So I'm not in my house. My recording equipment, unfortunately, froze. So that was rendered useless. There were hundreds of places I could have stayed, but I don't like to burden people. So I reached out to somebody who owed me a favor, and so you might remember.
I don't know.
You might remember from previous podcast episodes. He used to host it. It's Jackie McKenna, so I'm at his place.
Before we dive in, first I would like to clarify, you didn't so much reach out to me. You just kind of showed up at my family home.
Which is how different from what you did to me.
I mean, you insisted that I move in with you so that we could keep doing the show.
I mean, like, tomato, like...
No, all right. Well, but you showed up at my family home for the holiday season, a doop-de-doo, a dickory-dock, and you insisted on that we need to do the show. I need you back to do the show.
Okay.
The last episode was really bad.
That's not true. That's not true. You didn't even listen to it.
That's what you said.
No, I did not.
Yeah, I didn't
People
listen.
Are loving
this
it.
is what you told me.
Yeah. Jackie didn't even listen to it, which I understand, because look, I get FOMO when I stopped playing baseball. I couldn't watch a game for weeks. So I get why you wouldn't want to listen to the podcast. But I brought your family into the kitchen. I played it for you, and it was a learning experience for you. Let's be honest.
I mean,
there's a lot.
Learning experience insofar that my family was able to finally understand what I'd been experiencing for the past few months.
Which is sports knowledge.
All
You're
right.
telling me they didn't listen before?
Listen, I come from
Definitely did.
very humble country folk, nice, really, give you the coat off their back type of people. And, when you showed up begging me to do the show with you again and needing a place to stay because no one would answer your calls. I mean,
Well, no, that's not true. There are many places I could have stayed.
and so you insisted that you stay with us so that we could finish the season and stay until, you could get back up on your feet or at least a new roof. And, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones, especially when
I am
someone,
too. I'm willing to let all these lies you're saying.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
we don't
all
have to
right.
think
well,
about that.
You were in need, so I understood it. What
Water
I
under the
do
bridge.
object to is taking my mother's credit card and purchasing all of this recording equipment because obviously yours is frozen, mine was waterlogged from the roof, and now we have a whole new setup that you did on my mother's dime. I mean, I do expect
Which
you to
I'll-
pay her back.
I will obviously pay her back.
Okay.
It was on the coffee table.
Okay.
Like, who leaves their credit card on the coffee table if they don't want somebody to pick it up and
so-
use it? You said your parents are coat off their back people. They like to give, and I'm going to pay them back.
Okay. Yeah. No. All right. I believe it, but
Your mom loves the setup. She said so. She thought it looked really nice. She came in and was like, "Oh, look, what is that? That's really nice."
yeah. She well that was more just that's more because she's not in the biz like we are. She's just sort of impressed to see what that it was less. Oh, that's nice. It was more like, oh, what is this? And I said, well, this is what Noah used your credit card for. And I think she was kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
which I don't think
took
was
that as she was impressed, and it is impressive to the common eye, just as this podcast is to the common ear.
well. So that's the current situation going on. I obviously
Anyway, would you, Jackie, accept the position of host again? I'm gonna give you one more chance.
So yeah, that's my
I'm gonna give you
question.
one
That
more
was my
chance.
question. Is what capacity am I here in? You want me to be the host again?
I think I'll give you a shot. I'll see how you do.
Okay, all right. But it's your show. I mean, like
It's become that.
it's always been your show.
Well, sure, I am the main attraction.
Look, let's just let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
You're gonna be living with us.
Yeah.
Might as well make the best of the situation.
Definitely.
I'm definitely here under duress, but it's the holiday season. Doop-de-doop, dickory dock. Do your best for spread goodwill and help. I would say a friend. I thought a friend. Help someone in need.
Mm-hmm. There we go. And we're helping many people in need of sports knowledge.
Yeah, and I guess I'm back in the host chair, so I might as well steer this ship. We've got a number of live NFL games happening
Are we doing
right
the clock?
now.
We're doing the clock?
Oh,
It wasn't necessary last week, but maybe to keep you on course.
to keep me on course.
Yeah.
Do you realize that last week was our longest episode?
And? And is that a bad thing?
I thought the whole point of the timer was to keep these episodes concise.
Well, it's probably because of my brother's songs,
yeah.
which made it way more cool.
Sure. James, is that your twin brother's name?
Mhm.
Never met this guy.
He's very busy.
Oh. So he's the creative and you're the sports guy.
Pretty much.
Hmm.
The 1-2 punch.
I don't get it because whenever I try and talk about, movies and things outside of sports, you jump down my throat, but all of a sudden now we're talking about your brother's music career.
Well, think about it. If you ever go to a sports event, do they play movies on the screen, or is there music playing a lot of the time?
Well, sometimes they'll play the clips of
Clips?
from movies
Sure.
and TV shows and sound bites.
I would say.
And then people go, "Oh, that's from I like that. I'm going to go home and watch that."
But they come there for the sports and the music. And for halftime shows, they don't play a movie. The Super Bowl.
They should.
Well, that's an argument we could get into another day.
All right. We can start the clock, and I guess let me get my stopwatch here. All right, we're on the clock. We've got a number of live NFL games, and you had the brilliant idea of watching some of these and sort of live commenting on them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want? Do you want to? How should we do this? How do you want to pick a game out?
Do you have NFL Game Pass?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Well, I do now. That was also something I think you used my mother's credit card for.
Oh, well, I thought you had it.
No, we're just satellite people. But then you went and you used my mom's credit card to get the cable package and the Game Pass and all that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's pick a game. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, the Los Angeles Rams and the New Orleans Saints. Here we go.
I probably should mute it for copyright purposes.
Definitely mute it. I also like to mute games because I don't like to listen to commentators. Sometimes they have something helpful to say. Usually they're just babbling.
Yeah.
Oh, they're eating turkey. See? This is what I'm talking about.
What are you? Oh, this is the type of babble you don't care for?
Yeah. There's not even the game's not even
okay. We're back on the game.
So the score is 10-7 in favor of the
Nolans.
The Saints. All right.
Okay. All right. So they just tried to run the ball, which
gosh. So
more not.
Yeah, this isn't football.
Some people cooking turkeys or something, which was
But
strange.
I do want to go back to the play we saw before that.
Yeah,
that clip.
go for it. Go ahead and break that down for the people.
So that was a running play, and as you could tell, the player sort of got hidden amongst a bunch of players, and then he just fell down. This is what really hit. Well, did you see him?
I know. I saw. No, I. It's just that's interesting.
He ran into
and
them,
I
and
do.
then
You know,
disappeared.
We've had our differences over these past few weeks, but it is. I can't pretend that this is not enriching my experience right now.
There you go.
So I do appreciate that.
Well, good. Oh God, an ad for the FIFA Cup.
So what's your problem with FIFA?
It's just not an American sport. No one really cares about it here. And overseas, they call it my favorite sport, which is football.
They call it my favorite sport?
My favorite sport is football.
Overseas, though, I think it is their favorite sport. So they probably do call it my favorite sport.
And to their own, they may like what they do, but I do not. And this is your podcast. So here's another rushing play. So this is the Washington Redskins and the Houston Texans.
No.
Sorry?
It's
gosh, yeah. Okay, the Washington Commanders and the Houston Texans. The Commanders are up 14-0.
Two of the better teams in the league this year.
Yeah, definitely. Especially after the Commanders are selling their team.
Yes, which you touched on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
Do you call it now, really quick? Just looking at the formation, what are you thinking?
Oh, that's going to be a passing play.
And it is. Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Here we go. This is a sack.
This is what we turned it on for.
This is live football. So, and that guy's last name was Payne, and he tackled him for
I'll give sports this. Sometimes it feels like a movie. A guy named Payne just sacked.
You can't write this.
You can't.
You can't. You can try, and it'll be pretty close, but. Okay, so this is 3rd and 14. So
that's not great.
It's going to be difficult to.
This is what you call, I believe, bad field positioning, right?
Yeah, you'd never want to get past 3rd and 10. Okay, definitely a passing play here because you're going to need more. Oh, and it's another sack. Is that Payne again? I can't.
I can't either.
Sometimes I want like the.
Sweat. There's a guy named Sweat.
Oh my God. See?
Okay, I got to turn this game off. I'm laughing too much.
Yeah. Sports can be funny. We've been over that. But mainly not.
Mr. Pundit, would you mind breaking down. So there was some, and I think this is interesting because, you know, sports is such a monolith in our society, but you know, everyone has to bow down to Mother Nature at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're seeing today with the Cleveland
Browns
Browns and the Buffalo Bills game, which they are playing in Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan. So this would have been a home game for the Buffalo Bills. And this is sort of what you get for making a team in Buffalo, because normally they'd have an advantage playing in their hometown.
Mm-hmm.
But because I believe it's snowing?
Yes.
Something like that?
Something.
Yeah. It's way too cold to play a game.
It was snowing or it was raining, or I think it was hot. Could have been too hot.
Could have been too hot. Yeah, it was something extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live that north, something extreme is
Something's always going on.
Yeah. And so they're forced to play, and that's why they're losing right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Bills, usually a good team, are losing to the Cleveland Browns.
A lot of these running plays, a lot of these sort of hiding in the crowd, so to speak. But that's what's interesting, I think, about the running back is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you sort of want to hide, you want to run into where all the people are and hide. And so they forget where you are, and then you see that opening and you burst out. But for a few seconds, they sort of lose track of you.
Yeah, that's a strategy. It's often overused, and I think that's why it doesn't work that much, because you often see the running back get hidden amongst the football players, and he doesn't break out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably more often than not.
This looks like it's... Oh, so this is not football.
No, this is a commercial.
Okay, so we
switch the
could try another game.
Ooh, look at this. It's the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. It's a rivalry. And I want to talk about rivalries.
Okay.
Boston and New York.
Okay.
And New England is a city in Boston.
New England, Massachusetts?
New England, Mass. It's within Boston. It's like a weird, it's
Oh.
sort of like DC.
Got it.
So basically the New York-Boston rivalry. People ask, why are they rivals? Why do they hate each other so much? And why is it so exciting to watch them when they play?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of proximity. Boston and New York are very close together. So it's hard. So you have people who are right on the border of New York and Boston, and you have to sort of decide who you're going to root for.
Yeah.
And on that border, there's a lot of differentiation. So there's a lot of butting heads. So you go to the same bar, and two different factions of people are rooting for different teams.
Would you say that the closer the teams are to one another, the bigger the rivalry?
Yes. There are exceptions.
Okay.
Exceptions that prove the rule.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Such as the Pittsburgh no, that's not a good one. The LA Lakers.
Uh-huh.
That's a basketball team, and the LA Clippers, another basketball team.
Yeah.
They play in the exact same arena.
Okay, I'm going to write this down.
But that's the closest you can possibly get to each
Definitely,
other.
definitely.
Right? But because they play in the same arena, they sort of have an allegiance to both. And they sort of help each other. And when they play each other, it's both a home game, and it's sort of a friendly, sort of like, throw the ball around, have a good time. Because, they're in the exact same place.
Huh. That's interesting. But, that's sportsmanship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we like that. We like sportsmanship.
You have to like sportsmanship. You can also like the opposite.
You can. And it's sort of a tight wire act.
Yeah. Because you want to respect other players, but you also don't want to respect them too much.
Oh. Good. Great. Right on the button.
There we go.
So that's our time. I think we broke down some really good run plays. We saw some sacks from Payne and Sweat.
Yeah. 2 sacks.
That really got me.
I can't believe it.
So that's our buzzer beater.
Go Buzzer Beater, go Buzzer Beater, go Buzzer Beater, go Buzzer Beater. Gotta beat the buzzer, boy, you better call the usher. The Pundit's got it covered, so that's what's gonna stop the story. You love your brother, go ahead and beat the buzzer now.
Do you want me to go, or is it your
I guess it's technically your turn.
Oh, yep. Well, I guess I would say, much like the Clippers and the Lakers, our proximics have once again gotten quite under the same roof, and I just hope that this can I hope that this can be a Clippers-Lakers situation and not a New York-Boston situation, sort of how we were talking about.
Okay, that was sports related enough.
That didn't work for you.
Well, you brought us into it again, but that's fine. I'll let that go, and I'll bring us back to real sports.
Okay.
Thanksgiving Day, football. We talked about this in the very first episode. There are games going to happen. I predict there's going to be some new games on the schedule that we don't hear about until day of.
Some surprise games.
Not just some surprise games. I predict every single team in the NFL will play on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has that happened before?
Never.
Huh.
But I look at trends, and if trends prove correctly, surprises will always envelop. And so look forward to that. Wake up early.
Yeah.
If the parade happens first, watch the parade. But there could be some games that overlap.
Huh.
So sorry, parade.
Sorry, parade. You would watch the games. That would get priority.
Yes.
And are you joining us for Thanksgiving dinner?
I have nowhere else to go.
Oh, I thought you. I mean, I know you're staying with us, but I figured for the day itself, you'd be with your family.
My family, we're not really holiday people. At least my parents and sister aren't.
Got it.
So, yeah, I probably won't be going there.
What's James up to?
He's busy. He might be in the parade, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
performing.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, and I want to thank James for that buzzer beater song that played before the buzzer beater. That was awesome. And I want to tell you, Jackie, I thought you did manageably okay today, and I would like to offer you the permanent position of host again.
I will mull that over. Thank you. I appreciate your kind words. I definitely have a lot to think about, but definitely brought back some good memories watching some football with you. So
Definitely.
all right. We'll talk to you guys next week, and happy Thanksgiving.
It's the Sports Talk Now podcast.